All right, this must be the most important thing. If you're going to be a Google Chrome user, this is the most important thing you need to know. Don't be a Chrome user. Hello everyone, I am Will. I am from the Apple One-to-One Training channel, and we are here today to continue through our MacBook Neo journey, as we are going to continue discussing some really great features that you can use on your MacBook Neo. But a lot of things that we're talking about is even just for Macs. Though I'm focusing a lot on the new guys who are joining us for the MacBook Neo journey, this could pertain to your Mac as well. Today is all about installing applications. We're going to go through all different methods on how you install apps. That includes using the App Store, going through and downloading on Safari or even Firefox or Chrome. It's all kind of the same idea. And also how to use web apps, which are very new to the Apple ecosystem. Please like and subscribe. I really do appreciate all the feedback we are getting. We have many different videos that go over macOS Tahoe and other things that have already been addressed here. So if there's something you haven't seen, please go check it out here on our channel. So let's open up our MacBook Neo and let's get started. Yeah. All right, everybody, so we are now on our MacBook Neo. So I described that we're going to do 4 different ways here because there are kind of 4 different methods. So we're going to first start off with the App Store. So inside of the Apple logo is the App Store icon right here. So we're going to go ahead and hit that button. It's also this app right down here. And now we're on the actual App Store. So we can go through based on categories on the left side, but we can also do search. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up Microsoft Word, and I'm just going to look up the results, and these are the results. So all I have to do now is install it. Now there is a Mac version, and there's also iPhone and iPad apps. So if there are apps that you are looking for, they may be iPhone and iPad apps that you can also install here, and you just switch between them. So for this case, what I'm going to do for Microsoft Word is I'm going to hit Get on here, and what that's going to do is it uses my Apple ID that's already signed in, and it's going to install the app. So I'm going to give it that permission, and now it's asking for my Apple ID password. Now I blurred a little bit of this out, but I'm going to go ahead and give it that information, and I'm going to install that. I got a checkbox. And now the download is going to install. Now, Microsoft Word is not free. It's free to download the app, but I have to sign in with a 365 account in order to use it. So just make sure that when you, for this particular app, that you are already an account holder. Now, if you go to Discover, you can go through and find all the different apps that they have. If I go to see all under Try These Mac Favorites, these are basically all the favorite apps that people download. Like they have Amazon Prime Video. If you look up WhatsApp, they have WhatsApp on here, Telegram. They will also have Slack on here. So they have some basic apps that you will use on a daily basis. Canva is in here if you want to use Canva. So there are a lot of great different apps that you can download directly from the App Store. But what if there's an app that you can't find? So for example, I'm going to go look up Firefox, and they don't offer that here, but they do offer like DuckDuckGo in here as an example. But what if you want to install that app? Well, you have to go on the regular web browser and download it. Not every single app is on here, which I wish they were. So if I go into my apps folder, just so you can see, Microsoft Word is now here in the apps folder. And based on our last video, like I mentioned, you could drag it down here if you wanted to. So you can just make room for it, and then that'll drag it down. And then I would open Microsoft Word for the first time, and then there's going to be a lot of permissions that it's going to ask and things like that. But the most important thing is you have to sign into your 365 account, and this is where you basically go through that. By the way, on this channel, we have already talked about Pages, Numbers, and Keynote on a great detail. If you go look on our channel, we have videos on Numbers, on Keynote, on Pages, which is the equivalent of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and they are great apps, and we will educate you on how to use them, and that's free already in your machine, and they work with your iCloud account as well, so you don't have to worry about getting a extra account, and it's already here. So my recommendation is take a look at these guys and try them out. Do not skip them. I promise you, they do everything you want to do. It's maybe not as intuitive as Google Docs, but these are offline. These are available on the computer. So I beg you to give these 3 a try. They will do what you want to do. And we have made that very clear by going through our Getting Started videos here on our channel. Let's now go to Safari. And we're now going to go look up Firefox. Whoa, that's really small. Come on, yo. All right. There we go. I'm going to look up Firefox, and make sure you put in for Mac, because sometimes, you know, we're still in a Windows versus Mac, it's good to just be very specific. Let's go to download for Firefox for Mac, and let's hit download now. It's now asking me, do you want permission? I'm going to say allow that. And now you can see it jumped. You see how that jump occurred? Well, on here, you can see this little arrow, and it shows us a DMG file. It popped open this new window. So what this new window is a Firefox volume. Inside this DMG, if I minimize this, on your desktop is right here, this volume, and that's what appeared when I double-clicked that DMG file. So this volume is temporarily here to allow you to drag and drop this into the applications folder, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take my arrow and move it over here and drag it on top of the application folder, and that is going to install it. This is a very, very different from a Windows environment. You're not going through all of these install steps to do it. Everything of the app is contained in the app. There are some apps that will require more additional things, like Adobe Cloud would be a perfect example of that. So now that I have moved it over here, I can close this, but again, this is not necessary to keep because I've already moved this in here. In fact, if I move it again, it's going to warn me, hey, you're copying a file with the same name. And what I'm going to do is take the Firefox icon and drag it to the trash. And you notice that the trash has something called an eject there on the bottom. This is called a volume. A volume is not something you trash. A volume is contained within a image. And that is what that DMG is. So I'm going to trash it and it goes away. And if you look at the downloads, this DMG is still here. I could just drag this now to the trash. I don't need to keep it anymore. You typically never need to keep a DMG image. Now let's go ahead and open up Firefox. So let's go to Apps. Firefox is right here. I'm going to open it up. Now because I didn't drag it to the dock, you see it opened up over here on the side. This is the first time I'm opening it, so it's going to give me some questions. Pretty much on this step, you're going to open it because you're given it permission. And Firefox has terms and conditions I have to agree to. And then I have all these little checkboxes right here where if I want to set as my default browser, keep Firefox on the dock, sure, I'll do that. Import from a previous browser, so that's if you have a browser already, you can import it in. Save and continue. And it's asking me, hey, do you want to take the information from Safari and move it over here? And I could check off my bookmarks, saved passwords, and browsing history. What's great about this is if I want to do that, what it's doing is because I have an iCloud account and I have all my bookmarks, my passwords, all that saved here, it's going to be here. But in this case, what I'm going to do is start clean, but I could do that. I'm going to skip this step, start browsing. And you can make an account with Firefox as well. And here we are. So we are ready to go with Firefox, and we're going to go ahead and quit Firefox. So that is another method from a disk image file that we're going to do. Another one that's very popular is Dropbox. So if I go to Dropbox, same thing for Mac, and then install the Dropbox app. Let's go ahead and do this. Hit install. If I want to log in and do this, I'm going to skip it for now. There it goes. So the download is complete. You can see it's keeping a history of my downloads. So I'm going to double click. All right, so here's Dropbox. So I got to double click to install the icon. This is a different method than Firefox. So I'm going to double click on it. It's asking me, Dropbox is an app created by the app Safari. Are you sure you want to open it? It just wants to make sure you're not opening something you didn't give permission to. You could show the disk image, so that'll take you right to Finder where it was. So again, it's in the downloads folder. In this case, I'm just going to double click, hit open. Now it's downloading Dropbox to the computer. So every download is different on the web. Sometimes you just drag it right to the applications folder, and sometimes you have to go through a bunch of different questions in order to do it. Some of these also will require your password of your computer. So there will be a point where I possibly have to put in my password to give it the permission to install it, because Dropbox doesn't just access, it's not just an app. It's going in Finder. It's going in your menu bar. There are many different areas Dropbox actually is used on a daily basis. As you can see, we had a bunch of pop-ups that just happened, right? So number one, we have notifications. This is great if, like for Dropbox, for example, if there's like an update to the file or something like that, you may want to have that. Also, there are some permissions regarding background activities. So Dropbox Updater can run in the background, which in this case, I will tell you, you will need to do for Dropbox. So if I click on this, it's going to open up in the background. I got a bunch of windows here. So you look at all these different windows that opened up when it came to Dropbox. So if I'm in here in Dropbox, I have to turn on some features. So it turned on the Dropbox Updater, login items and extensions. So this tells me Dropbox will launch at login. This is important because for Dropbox, you want to have access to your files right away. So open at login is telling the computer to open this app in the background when you are using the machine. Turn on accessibility. So there's additional features that will be necessary for it. So I'm going to turn this little checkbox. And now it's asking for privacy and security. You're going to notice as you're using this device that Apple's going to ask for your password a lot. And that is because it needs permission to do things. So I'm going to use my Touch ID. Now, if you don't have a Touch ID, you would have to put in your password here. So accessibility has been turned on. Now I actually have to go through and sign in with Dropbox. All right, so I went through the step where it says always allow. To allow this website for Dropbox, I'm going to hit always allow. That's going to now set up my Dropbox. You can see on the top here on the menu bar, this is up here now. This is where my Dropbox account is going to be linked. The basic plan, I don't care. All right, it told me it was done. So now it's actually going to start. Now here's another password prompt. Again, this one actually doesn't require me to use my Touch ID. If you notice, my Touch ID is not being asked in this specific situation. So Dropbox has a bunch of passwords and hoops to get through here. So I'm going to get and put in my password. And then it's asking me, would you like it to start syncing? And I want to. So now Dropbox has been added, as you can see right here, into my locations. And now there's a bunch of clouds here, just like iCloud. And it's ready to download those items. And Dropbox icon is now up here. So Dropbox is now running in the machine. So there was a few hoops to get through when it comes to Dropbox, but it did work. Let's go over one final app way of doing this. So one of the things that you could do, which is really special, is called web apps. Web apps are allowing you to take any website and make an app out of them. So YouTube was my favorite example of this. Okay, so now we have everything here for YouTube. What I'm now going to do is do on the top of Safari, and by the way, this is a Safari feature that we're doing here, is something called File, Add to Dock. So what this is going to do is it's going to create an app for YouTube. So I'm going to click on Add to Dock, and then it's giving me the icon it's going to use. So you can use this icon, which I recommend. Here is the name of the app, and then the actual website. So I'm just going to put youtube.com, hit add, and now look on the bottom. This icon just appeared. If I close Safari and I open up this, YouTube is now its own application in your Mac. You can see you have your own file, view, go, window. You have your own menu bar separately. And what's great about this, look at this, they actually put certain areas like subscriptions or explore directly into your menu options here. This is tremendous, actually, to have this feature built directly in here. You even could set up shortcuts if you wanted to, which is really awesome. Now, if I go to File, Open Safari, it's going to open it in Safari. And the reality is, this is a Safari app. I just want to make it very clear. But now, look, it says Open in your web app. It actually has a separate button here that you can open up into your web app instead of going through Safari. So you have your own more customizable options. Even if YouTube was not in the dock, I can go to apps here and I would just type in YouTube. It would show up right here and then it pops open the app. So that is a great method if you ever wanted to take any website and actually put it here as an app for you. So those are the 4 methods of using an app. You're going to be able to go on the App Store. You could download a disk image, and a disk image either will be a drag and drop or it's going to be a full install. And then you will go through and download and install web apps using Safari to do that. So those are the methods of installing apps. Those are the major ones you'll notice going through your journey as an Apple user. And I love the web app. This was my favorite feature they ever came out with. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will try to answer anything you have. But I thank you very much, everyone, for watching this episode, and I love every single one of you.